Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unwrap the messy secrets of corporate filings. And let me tell you, this latest filing feels a bit like a treasure hunt for investors, but also a bit like a shell game, so buckle up. Today we're diving into a filing from Safe and Green Development Corporation, a company that's clearly trying to navigate some pretty significant corporate maneuvers. It looks like they've just secured a bit of funding, but there are some very interesting conditions attached and some key players stepping into new roles. So what happened? Well, on July 29th of 2025, Safe and Green Development Corporation, or the company as they call it, inked a deal, a securities purchase agreement with two investors. This was a private placement, meaning they didn't sell these shares on the open market. They sold over 39,000 shares of their common stock at just under $1 each. But that's not all. They also sold pre-funded warrants and regular warrants. Now think of warrants as options to buy more stock later. They sold these pre-funded warrants and regular warrants. Now think of warrants as options to buy more stock later. They sold these pre-funded warrants and regular warrants. Now think of warrants as options to buy more stock later. They sold these pre-funded warrants and regular warrants. Now think of warrants as options to buy more stock later. They sold these pre-funded warrants, which are pretty much shares you've already paid for minus a tiny exercise price. And then they sold warrants to buy even more shares in the future at that same price of $0.9094. The total cash they pulled. Now here's where it gets interesting. These investors aren't just handing over money, they're getting some serious control. They secured a right of first refusal for 75 days. What does that mean? Well, it means if the company wants to sell more stocks or even borrow money through debt, they have to give these investors the first crack at it. The investors get to match any offer or decide if they want in on the deal, and if they don't want in, the company can't proceed with that financing unless these investors give them the thumbs up. It's a powerful position to be in. This right of first refusal isn't forever though. It expires if a couple of things happen. One is if the investors don't present a major private placement financing deal within 3 days. They're talking about a massive $100 million deal to establish a cryptocurrency treasury reserve. Think of it as setting up a war chest in crypto. Dawson James Securities is mentioned as the exclusive placement agent for this big crypto deal. Another condition for the right of first refusal if it ends is if the company fails to sign a letter of intent for this $100 million crypto treasury opportunity within 15 days of it being presented. Or if they signed that letter of intent but then don't actually close the deal within 30 days after signing. If any of these big crypto treasury deals fall through, you'll see this right of first refusal disappear. And get this, from the moment this purchase agreement was signed until one of those crypto treasury deal failures happens, the company is also barred from pursuing any other deals that could bring in more than $2 million if those deals might get in the way of this big crypto treasury opportunity. It's like tunnel vision for a $100 million crypto deal. And if that big crypto treasury opportunity fails, the company is also restricted for a year from dealing with anyone introduced by Bill Panagiotakopoulos for a similar crypto treasury deal. This Bill Panagiotakopoulos character is clearly important. Speaking of Bill Panagiotakopoulos, the company also signed a consulting agreement with him, appointing him as an executive consultant. He gets paid a hefty $2,000 a year to explore this big crypto treasury opportunity. And as if that wasn't enough, they're also planning to put him on the company's board of directors. Now here's the catch with Bill's new gig. His consulting gig and his board seat are tied to the success of this crypto deal. If the $100 million crypto treasury opportunity doesn't get presented within 3 days, if a letter of intent isn't signed within 15 days, if a letter of intent isn't signed within 15 days, if the deal doesn't close within 30 days, or if the company finds out some important information Bill provided is wrong, well, Bill has to resign immediately. He even provided a contingent letter of resignation. It looks like his role at the company is directly linked to securing this massive crypto treasury strategy. But if this $100 million crypto treasury deal actually happens, Bill Panagiotakopoulos is in line to become the chief executive officer. He'll get that same $2,000 salary and a nice chunk of stock options on top of that. It's a huge gamble for him and for the company. This big crypto treasury deal also comes with strings attached regarding past agreements. If it goes through, the company with certain permissions will try to undo some prior transactions. Specifically, they want to cancel 1.5 million shares of non-voting Series A convertible preferred stock that were issued to some former Resource Group equity holders. It sounds like they're trying to clean up their cap table or corporate structure. Remember those arena debentures we talked about? Well, the investors who just put in money have the right to buy them back or find someone to buy them back from Arena for 115% of what they're worth. This is a way for the investors to potentially cash out or exit certain existing debt arrangements. And directly related to those Arena debentures, the company also entered into a forbearance agreement. Basically, the Arena investors agreed to not exercise their rights regarding defaults on these debentures until 61 days after a treasury opportunity failure. It's a temporary pause on a potential issue, but talk about that $56,000 raised. It's not going into a big pile of money for anything and everything. $1,000 is set aside to reimburse the CEO for some past expenses. Another $2,000 is for legal fees. The rest is for working capital. But here's a twist: existing management gets to decide how to use it only if Mr. Panagiotokopoulos agrees and he can't unreasonably block it. So Mr. Panagiotokopoulos agrees and he can't unreasonably block it. So Mr. Panagiotokopoulos has a say in how the company spends its money even before he's CEO. And on the investor side, they had to prove they were accredited investors, meaning they meet certain income or net worth requirements to invest in these private placements. This also means the securities weren't registered with the government, which is typical for these kinds of deals. They bought them using an exemption from registration. Dawson James Securities, which we mentioned earlier, was the financial advisor for this deal. They got paid in restricted shares of the company's stock and a $20,000 expense reimbursement. So they're also rewarded not just with cash. There's also a mention of an Arena waiver. The company got Arena Business Solutions Global to waive certain rights they had under a previous agreement. In return, the company issued Arena a pre-funded warrant for 1,000 shares, almost like a sweetener for them to agree. All these agreements, the purchase agreement, the various warrants, the consulting agreement, the forbearance agreement, and the Arena waiver are filed as exhibits. These documents lay out all the nitty-gritty details and conditions we've been discussing. But as always, there's a cover page interactive data file in XBRL format. This is for machine readability, allowing financial data to be processed automatically. Now, looking at all this, what's the real story here? Well, Safe and Green Development Corporation is clearly in a critical phase. They're trying to raise significant capital for a very ambitious crypto treasury strategy, and they're doing it by bringing in key players like Bill Panagiotokopoulos with significant influence and control tied to the success of this strategy. The company is essentially betting its future on this major crypto initiative. The strength here is that they are attracting investors and securing funding, even with these complex arrangements. The weakness is the heavy reliance on a single large future transaction, the $100 million crypto treasury opportunity. If that deal doesn't materialize, the company could face significant challenges given how these agreements are structured. There's a clear risk of this becoming a make or break moment for Safe and Green Development. So, in conclusion, this filing shows a company taking a very calculated but high-risk gamble. They are aligning their leadership and strategic direction with the pursuit of a massive cryptocurrency treasury reserve. Investors should watch very closely how this crypto treasury opportunity unfolds, because it will determine the company's trajectory and the value of their investments. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.